What's going on, guys? My name is Doug. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be putting you on to a new artist called Big Vinny. So Big Vinny hit me up, told me that he was dropping a project and asked me to review it. If you would like a review of a project of your own, hit me up on my Instagram and I would love to have that conversation with you. So Big Vinny's project, it's actually a mixtape, just dropped. I think it was actually today on the 10th. It's called Starry Nights. It's on SoundCloud, it's on YouTube. I'll drop links in the description. We're gonna listen to it. We're gonna give my thoughts on it. I'm gonna try and critique it. I've never heard it, so all my opinions, I will try to keep them as honest as I can. If there are things I don't like, if there are things that I like, I will be as truthful as possible so that Big Vinny, when he watches this, will be able to improve his music. And if anything, we'll get him a little bit of a promotion. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. The first track is Reintroduction. Let's get it.
It's Big Vinny, still the hottest in the city, all countryside. We gon' have some fun tonight. When I'm rapping up each verse, drag your ass out in a hearse. Give you my neck, switch your throat. Check the dough, check the flow, check your hoe. Cause I be dicking her out with a hurt out. I'm a fucking pro. B to the S, it's the K course and the case up. Straight up direction of my stacks and paper.
Alright, so with that first track, first of all, this beat is extremely fast-paced, and so, Big Vinny, you're trying to keep up with the beat, and you're actually doing pretty well. I know that it is not necessarily easy to rap quickly, so you managed to do that pretty well and managed to stay on beat, which is admirable. I will say that the thing that is holding this track back for me is, first of all, the recording quality of your vocals, and secondly, the mixing in general. You know, the beat is definitely a little harder to hear because your vocals are a lot louder than the actual instrumentals. And not only that, but it sounds like whatever you're using to record your vocals might not be very professional, and so your voice is kind of coming out as muffled and a little tough to understand. I was able to catch a couple of the lines that you actually said, and the bars, they really aren't bad. I feel like what could possibly take this song the next step would definitely be to invest maybe a few hours in watching a couple of videos about mixing, mastering, if you're doing this yourself. If you're recording this in your bedroom, for example, you could invest in a better quality microphone, a pop filter to keep out the background noise. You could record in a closet. You could do what I've done before, which is like put a bunch of shirts hanging around the microphone. That'll help to blot out any sound coming from around the room. And yeah, I feel like that would really help you to have a more professional sound, and that would really take your music the next step, you know? And if that is the case with the rest of these tracks, if the recording quality is going to be, you know, like that, and if the mixing is going to be like that, that's okay. I'm still willing to listen, and I'm still willing to give the opinions on the rest of the tracks, you know, the beats and all that. But just, yeah, for sure, my advice to you would definitely be to invest some time into learning how to mix better and master, and investing some money into some better equipment, you know, especially if your PC isn't really handling the software very well, or if, you know, your microphone isn't really professional. Definitely get some better equipment. That'll really give you a huge boost to your sound.
I just ride around the town, cruising with my seat back. Just picked up a new bitch, damn, she came with me gas. Once I spit the fire, but you know. Stay in your lane and make that hardcore switch. Like what to switch, looking like they toss up, bro. Plus you through your sound system, this a funky foul with them killing more channels.
Yeah, so with this track, I'm hearing some clipping, so you could probably work, like I said, on the mixing and the mastering to avoid the clipping. I dig the actual instrumentals, you know, those guitar loops and everything like that. I think that the instrumentals are really dope. I think that the delivery is definitely there. The energy in your vocals is definitely there, which is something that a lot of people actually have to work on. I feel like you've already got that. So again, just reiterating that professional equipment and better mixing will make you sound so much better because you've already got some great stuff to work with in your vocals, in your delivery, in your energy. All of that is really, really dope. Next track is Rose Sweat. This little loop is so smooth, man.
Relationships ain't work out like a kid, that's fact. I don't know about that written now, I come Big Vinny for a reason. But everyone's my good friend, who got her head on my chest. So when she drink herself over me, all we feel is heavy breath. And she pay her rent on time, she ain't fucking with heavy debt. And most of, yeah, I know your mama told you don't trust guys with pills and potions, but we've been causing emotion for a minute, perpetrating all these fake killers.
Yo, you actually have a really interesting mesh of old school and newer school styles. You know, you're choosing beats that are more modern, but your whole approach is very retro. It's very old school, like 90s boom bap. Again, your energy always matches the beat really well. Your delivery is very confident. The lyrics are actually really dope. The only real thing that I would have to say is, yeah, man, this is the professional equipment and mixing and mastering is definitely going to help. The whole environment that you're recording in is going to help you tremendously. And you could actually really have something special here, because a lot of artists that don't have half of what you have end up making it just because of how professional their music actually sounds. So if we give that quality of that mixing, the mastering, and the recording to you, you could actually be really, really big, dude. I believe that. You've got a whole lot of great qualities to work with.
So it was like, get on the ground now, but Vinny right behind me was brandishing the sign. He knew he was fucking smiling.
The cash in the case, plus all the pearls in this place. One lucky night.
Popping shots.
With the feds.
Yo, might find it unfair, but I'm still paying for my granny's healthcare, cause I still care, it's just in my character.
I'm in it.
Hey man, I'm gonna be real with you. I really don't think that this instrumental works with the type of delivery that you're approaching with. I think that this instrumental definitely works better with singing and not necessarily with rapping. Unless you're going for like a Kid Rock approach, I guess that could kind of work. But I also think that when you do try to sing, again, investing in professional equipment and having some auto-tune in your vocals will help you to kind of stay on key. When you're doing the snapping, it sounds like you're doing it while you're singing. I feel like maybe doing them separately and then adding them into the software and mixing them correctly and then singing without doing the snapping will help to separate those two tracks and help you to actually mix them better, you know, to lower the sound of the snapping, because the snapping is a little distracting. But like I said, I just don't feel like this instrumental works very well with this approach in the first place, you know? So I feel like this track, if it were to be good, in my opinion, it would need a different approach. It would need some better mixing. It would need some auto-tune on the vocals, you know, and just more energy in general in terms of actually layering more vocals and really not shying away at all from being loud, because it is a rock track, you know what I mean? So I do like the energy that you're approaching it with. I just feel like it needs even more than that, because it is a rock, energetic song. Track 5 is Move Forward.
The powers of First Amendment and freedom of press. I just wish more politicians would respect the oppressed. If by any means necessary, put government to the test. Even Dr. King caused civil unrest. Striving at 19s, I'm trying to play both sides like blues and pirates. I respect the whole spectrum. Y'all know that. I don't respect the high.
Yo, you approach this with some real bars, bro. You approach this with a real message, and you killed it, honestly, with your verses. I think that the lyrics on this are very, very good. You know, same criticisms as before, mixing, mastering. I'm not going to keep repeating myself like a broken record. I think you've gotten the point. That if you work on the mixing and the mastering, your music will sound more professional. But I feel like, truly, the lyrics, the message, the wisdom to provide a decent and meaningful message on a track, it's all there. You have it. You know, all you need is that little extra boost to really give you a very professional sound, and you'll be good to go, dude.
It was never my fault that y'all fucking missed out. I'm so done with all you pretty bitches now. It was never my fault. Keep the lavender fragrance. I'm bringing home a baby that's faithful for bringing home the bacon. I'm so done with all you pretty bitches now. The truth. I'm so done with all you pretty bitches now. It was never my fault.
The bounce to this beat is really cool, man.
Done with all you pretty bitches now. It was never my fault that y'all fucking.
Yeah, man, this one seems like you're pretty frustrated in terms of your love life. And it's a relatable track. It's something that anybody who's ever been rejected, anybody who's ever had some troubles and some issues with their relationships, they could relate to. So like I said, lyrically, it's pretty solid. It's a relatable song. That one's actually pretty dope. I like the bounce to the beat too. It's pretty good. Next track is Warfare.
Let your sword flare. I ain't the lawnmower right up on the ass. I inhale grass and I exhale smoke. More smoke, I'll bring fire to your jaw gate like the Lord, and all of us I'ma roll up the cannabis so I don't have to pull out my piece to find inner peace. Like a sexy night in the world. Respect the finest reward, and y'all know what they say, pen mightier than the sword. But to let my guard down,
This is dope, bro.
I can't afford.
Yeah, man. Definitely when you're singing and you're gonna be belting notes like that, you're gonna need auto-tune because it's very easy to get off key. You're gonna need to mix way better. You're gonna need to step back from the microphone because your vocals are peaking. It sounds very harsh when we try to listen to it, but the intent is great. The approach to the verses on the track is great. The lyrics are actually really dope. The instrumentals are very emphatic. They're very climactic. It's very cool, man. I enjoyed this. So much potential here, you know? A remix to this in the future would be really, really dope. Whenever you get, you know, better equipment and you go back and you remake this, it would be insane. It would be a great, great, great song.
Try to make a new empire, raven feathers and swamp skin. That's the image. Still young, girls into my nest with the pigeon's eyes. Like, but then again, what moral fibers do I need? I cut them off like this mortal coil when my victims reach. Shocking, right? The guy that looks like a freak show is falling over sluts, corpses, and I just warm up. Can't see straight when the vision is corrupt.
Yeah, man, you seem to have a good idea for creating melodies, for singing on and trying to be melodic on these songs. You also display great versatility by rapping and singing on a variety of different styles of music and styles of beat, which is pretty dope, honestly, and it's courageous and it's brave, and I commend you for that. That's very respectable. Because not a whole lot of artists will have that courage to be so diverse and so creative. I definitely respect the efforts here, you know, despite the mix not being as professional, or the actual quality of the recordings being the best possible. You got to be able to recognize the potential that is here to be truly great, man. And honestly, I'm impressed with the efforts and what you've shown here so far as an artist. This has been really, really interesting. Next track is These Words.
And I don't know the real meaning of these words, these words, these words, these words. Finna die alone, that's okay, fuck rap. I ain't no sap, I can see more clearer. Just let me bust a cap in this motherfucker in the mirror. Suicide thoughts, songs called Carry Thoughts is the crime rhymes of the evidence the way. So I'm waking up the dead with the small fucking ruckus once you hear the chainsaws. That's the end of the discussion for my friends.
So we get a lot of introspective bars here. We get bars about depression, suicide, self-deprecation. It's really crazy. It's very energetic. I like your attempt with the hook. I like the approach that you took with the actual melody that you were singing. You seem to be very passionate. You seem to really mean it when you perform, which is something that is absolutely very admirable. It's very great. I feel like the mix on this, if it were professional, it would definitely help so much. You really seem to be very passionate about your music, about the songwriting, about the actual performance, and really bringing everything that you can to these tracks. I feel like maybe this beat isn't really for me and my personal music taste. I didn't really like the beat that much, but I feel like what you brought to the beat was different and special and interesting. Again, I applaud you for absolutely leaving it all out there, man, because every single track has definitely been incredible displays of passion and love for creating music, for sure, and for being a creative person. And that's what's really impressive to me on all these songs. Next track is Waterfalls. You really like these fast-paced tracks, huh?
The summertime, as I raise my pupils to the sky now, that blissful radiance from the sun is nice. Wash all your sins away, let the waterfalls, let the waterfalls. Even on my worst days, I always had a bed to lay down. Now that's the only thing keeping me tied to the ground. Need to be held accountable for lost time and effort, or else.
Yo, this one's got a really dope message of uplifting yourself and being thankful for what you have, and clawing your way out of depression, and basically letting the water fall and to wash your sins away, wash all the depression away, wash the sadness away. It's got a really hopeful message. I think that that's pretty dope. I like how you try to be melodic on this. I like that you chose a fast-paced track again to try and keep up with, you know, and challenge yourself a little bit there. That was pretty cool. I think that the instrumental is also pretty fun to listen to. So, you know, that's a dope track.
Natural sugars gon' give you energy. Fruit, better than cough syrup and Hennessy. Fruit, that's the only way you get the juice.
This is actually pretty funny.
Fruit, better than cough.
Fruit, natural sugars give you the energy. Fruit, better than cough syrup and Hennessy. Fruit, that's the only way to get the juice. That's actually really funny, dude. And I'm assuming you made this kind of like to be a one-off track, kind of goofing around and having fun, but it's actually genuinely funny, in my opinion. And it seems like it's pretty brilliantly satirical, and I already really like that about it.
Cues, that's a slur, man, you best watch the words that you use. Candy color rappers, culture vulture, gays front and over old heads, trying to pause the rap game like it's broke wine. It tastes even sweeter, I can never rationalize, ever trying to cheat her. I can never get tired of the touch of real hands. I'ma show these young, but that's the only way to get the juice. Thank you very much, like a high bowl of soup, yeah.
The metaphor is actually really dope, man. I thought that this was going to be a one-off funny track, but there's actually substance and a message to this, all while using that fruit metaphor. That is actually really cleverly written, dude. Like, that's actually really good writing, in my opinion. if only the mix were a little better, man, to actually make your vocals fit into the song really nicely and then have that nice master to make it loud and really crisp and clean. This actually could be a very great song, man. I mean, it's great already because the beat choice is great and the lyrics are great, but if the mix were a little better, this would have so much replayability and it would actually have such an awesome message to it, man. Every time you talk about these matters like domestic violence, LGBTQ, racism, it seems like you genuinely studied and you know what you're talking about and you're really passionate about these issues that you're bringing up, and you sound sincere, which is something that I always look for, is when people are trying to be woke and trying to talk about certain issues that they have problems with. I always look for that sincerity, you know? And you definitely sound like you mean it, which is, again, very, very dope. And I personally really like that song.
Glorified pussy color earth the kid. Everybody fake when discussing their virginity. You better high school, you ain't fucking on no bitches, B. I'ma use a party song to bring back romance. And she been merciful to my heartless. It's a mutual love and respect. When she rubbing fingers up and down my neck, y'all will notice I'm single still. Maybe it's Asperger's syndrome. Maybe it's like Super 94, telling people that they don't love them hoes.
Man, this one definitely feels like it's about somebody who is conquering shyness, you know, and trying to become more confident, trying to overcome all the fakeness that surrounds high school, all the fakeness that surrounds people who are trying to put on this front and not actually living out the life that they portray. And this is all about somebody who's trying to overcome all of that and gain their confidence and gain that self-awareness and that love for themselves, and really just trying to be confident in themselves. That's at least what I'm getting from it. I think that his flow is pretty dope. I feel like the beat selection was really good. Next track is Humility.
Cut in half, we was still working that math on the days off. We was cooking French bread pizzas, I ain't saying we was puffed. Like the poor to the rich, can't be fucking sick. Like the mustard seed, replace their cocoa. Rappers still proud to brag about that cover. Their history, working for greedy gringos. I be putting out singles for the general public. Shout out to the White House. That's some
Yo, this one talking about humility. This one's talking about coming up from nothing, staying true to yourself, staying true to your roots. There's not enough humility in the United States. That's dope. And again, airing out his grievances and talking about his frustrations on the track. It's really the best way to do it. You know, if you've got frustrations that you want to get off your chest, do it on a track and put it out there for people to listen to, man. That's definitely the best thing that you could possibly do. I respect that. That's really dope. I actually kind of like that sample as well. The sampling on that track was really good. Next track is Thank You. Sampling You Rock My World by Michael Jackson. That's brave.
But I hope you hit me up in a couple years, love. I wanna thank you for your companionship.
I'm gonna be real. I don't really think that sample kind of worked with this production, and that kind of threw me off for the entire track. I'm not really a big fan of this song in particular. I feel like the singing wasn't really that strong on it. I do enjoy the message and being thankful to somebody for always sticking around, for being there by your side. I think the message is dope. I'm not tearing that down at all. I just think that the execution was probably not as dope as it could have been. And I also think that if you're going to sample Rock My World by Michael Jackson, there's a better way to do it. But those are just my thoughts on that track. Next track is Worldwide.
I can see Shakespeare at the Globe. Next night I be cooking white on the stove, so I can cultivate cash and purchase a ghost. Maybe grab a Van Gogh. My name's Round and Go. Worldwide. Round and round. Satisfied. Round and Go. Walking the streets of Paris. These French are so trifling.
There was a really cool bounce to this. This track is pretty soulful. I'm not going to get mad at it. I like the beat. You know, I like the sample. I like the fact that you used that instrumental. It was pretty cool. Confidence Bop is next.
Try love again, it'll make you feel great. Make you feel like you on top. Like once you walk in the room, everybody stop. It's that confidence bop. There was a time when my rhymes were so bogus, like anything. Practice is an A-grade polish now. Everything out my mouth is swagger running through solid logic. But we gotta shift the paradigm on decision making profit. Like putting gambling mechanics and video games to abuse consumers.
Definitely makes sense for this track to be called Confidence Bop. He was killing it with his verse. Very confident delivery, very awesome lyrics. I'm loving the instrumentals all over this project, man. That was really cool to listen to. Next track is You Not Like Me Too, which is a bonus track, actually. These last two tracks are bonus tracks.
And Twitter ran, set of Twitter fingers, raise your middle fingers to the executive branch.
Nice.
NYPD, so I gotta spread you. Else I look like an info, and y'all know I'm painful. Brick by the pound, boy. Else I drop you in the forest, you won't make a sound, boy. I don't catch you going soft, but the flow remains butter smooth and gas stay packed. Once the funds get up, I'm a cop.
Yo, you are absolutely a real lyricist, man. I really enjoy a lot of these bars, talking about some real stuff on these songs, man. Honestly, people would overlook this because of the mix quality and they would say, oh, it's not a professional song or whatever, but there's actually real substance in these songs. And I'm absolutely serious about this. You guys know I wouldn't lie. I really like the subject matter of that track. The last song is Pleasure.
This is just my gentleman ways, dog. Dinner with candle style before dessert. I want that Laffy Taffy. Known to be some nasty, nasty freaks in the bed. Dungarees, if you thinking I'm kind of a sleaze. I just prefer to please my ladies in the sweet summer breeze. Every angle is like a treat from heaven above. La 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 la.
I'm digging that last song as well, man. The beat was really cool. I'm liking the little singing that you did on it. I'm liking the message about respecting women and all that. You can't really hate that message, respecting women. You know what I mean? It's a dope track. It's a cool way to end the project off. So Starry Nights by Big Vinny, man. Look, like I said at the very beginning, all of these songs need better mixing, they need mastering, and they need better professional recording qualities. So with that out of the way, just putting all of that aside, the lyricism on here is really dope. The subject matter, he chose very complicated subject matter to talk about, but he did it very well. He performed all of his thoughts very coherently, very cohesively, and pretty clearly in terms of his delivery, his flow, and all of that was really well presented. He's clearly very passionate about his music. In his performance, you can tell whenever he's singing, he tries to do his best. He goes all out, he goes all in. And that's something that's admirable. It's always awesome to see somebody who's passionate about their craft and who's always dedicated to working on it. He's actually got really funny lines on here. He seems to have a great sense of humor. And this project was a really enjoyable listen, man. Like I said, definitely invest some time and some money into learning how to mix better, how to master, how to get the absolute best recording quality that you can, because you can do so even if you're recording in a bedroom, man. And I'm hoping that this advice that I'm giving you will absolutely change your music, man, will absolutely raise your music to a whole nother level, because like I said, all the potential, you've got everything that it takes to really be great and to really put out awesome, awesome music, dude. Thank you so much for sending this project in to me, Big Vinny. It was a pleasure. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you would like your project submitted, hit me up on my Instagram. I would love to have that conversation with you. I will see you all in another video, guys, very soon. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.